Hey, everybody, welcome to Breakfast All Day. Alonso, Christy, Matt. Spider-Man Far From Home actually opens next week, July 2nd, to be exact. They're already talking about what its 6-day holiday take is going to be. But the embargo's lifted, and we've all seen it, so we're going to talk about it now.
So really, it's actually opening on Monday night, July 1st.
That's true.
Right?
You're right.
It's really opening on the 7 p.m. showings on July 1st.
Yeah, if not 5 o'clock, who knows?
Right. So Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Can I try and describe it?
Sure.
Because now I have to write a review of it. I just learned recently.
Yeah. Also, before you describe it, look, if you want to be completely unspoiled, don't watch reviews.
But we're not going to spoil it.
I know, but it's, there's people have that idea you named a character. That's a spoiler.
Yeah.
If you look at the IMDb page, you know who the characters
are.
Don't
read the Wikipedia page. That gives away everything.
So this is a follow-up to Spider-Man Homecoming, but really in time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it happens right after the end of Endgame.
Yes.
And so everyone's gotten snapped back. Like anybody who disappeared when Thanos snapped his fingers, they've all come back in what is being referred to as the blip. Yes. And there's a funny time travel kind of thing involving if you survive the snap, you're this age, but if you left and came back, you're a different age, and they have fun with that.
There's a throwaway joke at the very beginning that I love where basically they're complaining that even though we already took midterms, they made us do this entire year over.
Angry Rice is very cute as the TV news anchor in their show at high school. So it's summer vacation, and there's a big class trip to Europe, and they're going to go to Venice and to Paris and London, I want to say maybe. They have a whole bunch of European cities they have planned. And all Peter Parker wants to do is go be a kid and go hang out with his friends and travel and hang out with MJ, who he thinks is super cool. And he, wants to get to know better. And he has romantic notions, goofy teenage boy romantic notions of how this trip is going to go down. And of course, because he's a superhero, it's not going to happen that way. And it's how he tries to juggle being a normal kid and all the awkward anxieties of that with the fact that there is a global menace that he has been recruited to try to help stop because Nick Fury just shows up and makes him do it. And I like this a lot more in the former part of that story when it's him just being a teenager, because Tom Holland is so adorable. He's so cute. I don't know how old he is. He's got to be 25. Yeah, he's way older than high school, but he's got the boyish Peter Parker persona down in a way that's different from, as we talked about before, different from Tobey Maguire's take on it, different from Andrew Garfield's take on it. I love him in this role so much. It'd be really hard to follow up Homecoming with a film that is as good, right? That seemed such a breath of fresh air. It was just giddy, and it had this great exuberance about it. John Watts also directs this, who directed the first one.
Same writers are back.
Yeah, so it's all the same people in place, but I just I don't know, when it becomes the big CGI spectacle of the fighting of the stuff, and when you find out what the villain's motives actually are, which aren't all that surprising.
No, but they are interesting.
But who the villain is not all that surprising.
No. We got this email from Sony please don't reveal the blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of
yeah.
You named a major character after a huge historical part of Spidey's rogues gallery. It's not that tricky to connect the dots, but whatever.
Right. The movie tries to pretend that you don't know. The movie tries to pretend that Jake Gyllenhaal is something he's not, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's supposed to be a big surprise. And then you're like, wait a minute. No, if you've done any, all of the early news, right? All right, sure. If you've never heard of Spider-Man and you're going into this cold, maybe. But if you've never heard of Spider-Man, you're going into this cold, why are you even reading reviews at a time, right?
I just think it's so clear, the way and when and how he shows up. It's so clear that he's a villain. I mean, I'm not a big comic person. Nick knew who Mysterio was because he's well versed in these things. But I think it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, it's not a giant surprise. But it's funny. I hear what you're saying because I did like Homecoming more, but I also like this one a great deal. I thought it was very funny, very charming, and I do love all the character interactions. But there was a moment during the big CG heavy third act battle sequence where I just kind of thought, it's not this movie's fault, but God, I really wish they would make fewer of these. Like, as it dawned on me in the last, like, the year is not quite yet half done. And we've already had Captain Marvel and Shazam and Avengers Endgame. And it's just kind of like, this movie is, when I think of what a summer movie is, this is it checks all the boxes. It's funny, it's exciting, it's larger than life, it's, whatever. But like, we don't even call them summer movies anymore because we get them all year round.
They come in March.
One of the challenges with it, look, like this
and
movie,
none of this is this movie's fault. I want to be clear. I'm just saying, in general, if you're getting superhero fatigue, I'm understanding why.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and it's a lot of fun, and it's breezy, and the action is staged relatively well. And again, it's a little bit not of this movie's fault so much as that even if you just stay focused on the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
This is the third big Marvel Cinematic Universe spectacle that we got in 1 year.
In less
than 6 months, right? And so you kind of are like, it's hard not to be a little numb to it, which, at one point, Spidey himself's like, can I just be a neighborhood Spider-Man? Like, that would actually be really a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't
right?
planning
I like
to save
that
the world
party.
this summer.
Yeah, and I like that conflict there. Like, why can't he just be a kid? Like and I know that's not necessarily a novel concept. Like, oh, you're torn. You don't want the abilities that you've been bequeathed.
Nobody ever says with great power comes great responsibility, but that's implicit throughout.
Yeah, but him just like being a high school kid and being awkward and funny with his friends is, to me, a more compelling movie. And if you never had any of the big CGI spectacle, like, this would have actually been a better movie for it, I think. I don't know, but I guess you need all that.
It would have been different, but yeah, I think that people are afraid to stray from the formula of how these movies are set up. Like, I would be down for a superhero musical. I would be down for a superhero like chamber drama. Like, I think there are other ways to tell this story. And again, I don't want any of this to sound like I'm blaming this film. This film, I think, is great and really entertaining. But it's that thing, like the LA Times said years ago, like, the potato famine happened because Ireland became a one-crop economy, and I don't want Hollywood to become a one-crop economy.
But a little bit of it, I think, is this movie's fault in that it has the opportunity to do some interesting character stuff that it only doesn't dig deep enough into, right? Like, there's more than one romance that happens in this movie.
Yes.
Right? And I was kind of interested, I would have liked to have seen more of each one of those, right? There's 3 different ones happening, and I thought that would have been a little bit more interesting to follow. And
you're right, there are 3.
Yeah, there are 3. And there's the relationship. They hint at Ned having, his best friend Ned having to make peace with the fact that somebody else has figured out his secret. And there's a little bit of posturing around there. Like, you could do that, it's all kind of like high school character beats without any of the action or less of the action.
That's what I'm suggesting.
Right. And
I like that idea.
Like, make it Euro Trip, basically.
Right. And and again, like, the movie's fine, right? Like, it's good. I enjoy it. I will say, obviously stay through the scenes. And
there's huge shawarma in this movie.
Right. And stay to the very end. And the thing is, a little bit of it is the biggest jaw-dropping kind of holy mackerel moments are in the codas.
Okay, so here's a question.
Like,
we're not going to give anything away, I promise. I only stayed for the first one.
Oh, no.
Is there a whole other second one? Okay.
Stay through the... Oh, come on.
I know I should have stayed.
Amateur.
I know I should have stayed, but I had to go to the bathroom, and Palos Verdes is so far away. So, but I'm taking Nick. Nick was out of town when this screen. I'm taking Nick next week, so I'll stay.
Off mic.
The second one recontextualizes the whole movie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's giant.
Shit.
We'll tell you before you write your review. You need to know. This is like me leaving Paddington 2 and not sticking around for the musical number.
Right. Like yes. Oh my God.
Thank you for warning me.
You'll be so mad.
Oh, I'm mad.
Oh,
I had
you
to go
should
to the
be
bathroom.
mad.
Now.
Oh my God.
I should have gone to the bathroom and come back. Because the
It was a long
the
credit.
credits are like 10 minutes long.
They are.
All right.
Yeah, but look, like, if you're going into this thinking you're going to have a good time, you are, right? Are we a little bit complaining that we've become numb to it being like too much awesomeness?
As Matt Atchity would say, it does what it says on the box.
Right. It does. It does it very well. And it's just like, man, we just hit that. We just hit that lottery number. Like, we just hit it again.
Look, we're not getting another MCU movie until I think May of 2020 at the earliest. So
What's that one?
What's next?
Is it like Captain Marvel 2? Is it a Guardians movie?
No, it's either like shoot, it's not the Eternals. I forget. Anyway, but it's
Did you
not
guys
for a
talk
while.
about in the Dark Phoenix review how they were being chased by the mutant control unit, the
MCU? I did
That's
not
cute.
notice that.
That's cute. I
Funny.
know that. When is the
Did-
third
did-
Guardians movie coming out?
They haven't started shooting.
Well, they
Okay.
fired James Gunn and they hired him back, so
Right.
it's going to take a while. Did you guys catch the Billy Elliot reference in this movie?
No.
Because Tom Holland played Billy Elliot on stage, like that was his sort of big initial breakout, which is why he's got dancer body. There's a bar scene where you hear "Town Called Malice" in the background.
I know I heard a town called
okay,
Malice,
yeah.
but I didn't put two and two together that was a
didn't
Billy
catch
Elliot
that.
joke.
So anyway, just
Yeah.
throwing that out there.
And a message to you, Rudy. Right?
Yeah.
The specials.
But why is
That
that?
also plays.
Is that in Billy Elliot?
No. Just a good song. Just a good 80s song.
He's just showing off now.
I just thought, I love the Jam. We don't hear them often enough in movies. I didn't realize it had like a callback reference significance to it. Now we know. Nothing
right.
gets past Alonso.
So if this is if you like this kind of thing, you will like this kind of thing. I had a great time.
Right,
so
no, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good. I don't want to say that it's not
No,
good.
I-
It is good.
Yeah.
Right?
My complaints are about the state of the business, not about this movie
Right.
in particular. So I said 8.5.
I'm saying 7. It's fun. It's not as good as Homecoming, but it's fun.
What did I say?
You also said 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah. Good.
Okay. Our number is a 7.5. It's at 91% on the tomato meter.
So yeah,
All right. So
why
go see
not?
it.
Hey, thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and do check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. It's where we do movie news and trailers, our TV recaps. We're currently talking about The Handmaid's Tale and Big Little Lies, and we're about to, I think, start talking about The Loudest Voice on Showtime, and we are about to do our first classic review. What are we calling those?
Off the menu.
Off the menu, where our higher level Patreon members get to vote on which film we review, and we're about to announce our next one. If you're a Patreon member, we'll tell you all about it. So yeah, patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Check it out. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.